Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we are diving into one of the most controversial and emotionally charged political flashpoints in South Africa right now. Julius Malema and the economic freedom fighters' protest march to the Premier's office in Kimberley, aimed squarely at challenging the existence and legal status of Orania. That's right. The EFF, led by Julius Malema, is once again shaking the foundations of South Africa's democratic discourse, this time by demanding that the government urgently review what the party calls an apartheid outpost operating in plain sight in the democratic era. The protest, scheduled to take place this Tuesday, is already drawing national attention, with thousands of EFF supporters expected to flood the streets of Kimberley in a dramatic show of force against what they view as a constitutional aberration. But what exactly is Orania, and why is it drawing such fierce condemnation? Orania is a privately owned town in the Northern Cape, built on the idea of Afrikaner self-determination. It's a place where only Afrikaners, people of Dutch descent who speak Afrikaans, are allowed to live and work. The town operates with its own bank, its own currency, and a highly autonomous community governance system. On paper, it sounds like a bold experiment in cultural autonomy. But for many South Africans, especially those who lived through apartheid or have inherited its consequences, Orania is seen as a deeply offensive relic, the town where racial exclusion is dressed up as cultural preservation. And Julius Malema is not mincing his words. In a weekend press briefing, Malema said, "Orania is not just a town, it's a symbol of defiance against the vision of a united, democratic South Africa. It represents everything we fought against during the liberation struggle." These words are not just political rhetoric. They echo the broader frustrations many South Africans feel in a country still battling the lingering effects of inequality, land dispossession, and economic exclusion along racial lines. For Malema and the EFF, Orania represents the physical manifestation of white privilege, a bubble that has refused to integrate into the Rainbow Nation. The protest also comes after months of failed negotiations between the EFF, Orania's leadership, and the Freedom Front Plus, a right-wing political party that staunchly defends Afrikaner cultural rights. According to sources, talks broke down when the EFF insisted on integrating Orania into broader South African governance structures, while Orania's leadership refused to budge, citing constitutional protections for cultural self-determination. This legal grey area is what Malema is now targeting. He has vowed to take the fight to Parliament and the courts, demanding a full legal review of Orania's status and whether such a racially exclusive town can be justified under South Africa's post-apartheid constitution. Now let's be clear, Orania is not illegal. It exists under Section 31 of the Constitution, which protects the rights of cultural, religious, and linguistic communities to associate and practice their culture. But the question Malema and the EFF are raising is whether this constitutional clause has been hijacked to justify a form of modern-day segregation. And that's where things get even more complicated. If Orania is declared unconstitutional, what does that mean for other cultural communities in South Africa that seek self-governance? Would it open the door to government interference in religious schools, traditional leadership structures, or even language-based communities? These are not easy questions, and they strike at the very heart of what it means to live in a pluralistic democracy. Meanwhile, the Northern Cape Premier Zamani Saul has remained silent. No official statement has been released from his office, and that silence is adding fuel to the fire. Political analysts warn that this issue could quickly escalate into a national debate, forcing both Parliament and the Constitutional Court to weigh in. And with national elections just around the corner, the timing couldn't be more sensitive. There's also the political chessboard to consider. By taking aim at Orania, Malema is positioning the EFF as the only party with the courage to challenge white privilege and historical inequality head-on. It's a move designed to win support among disenfranchised black South Africans, especially youth who feel the ANC has lost its revolutionary edge. But critics argue that the EFF's tactics may backfire. They say the party is stoking racial tensions and undermining the very principles of constitutional democracy it claims to defend. Freedom Front Plus leaders have accused the EFF of using Orania as a political scapegoat, warning that any legal attack on the town could spark a national backlash from minority communities. Still, for many ordinary South Africans, this debate isn't about legal theory or cultural rights. It's about the deep, unresolved wounds of apartheid and the continued existence of spaces that feel like they don't belong in the South Africa we were promised in 1994. The EFF protest in Kimberley is shaping up to be more than just a march. It's a symbolic confrontation between two radically different visions of the country's future, one rooted in cultural preservation, the other in national unity and racial integration. So what happens next? If Malema succeeds in forcing a legal review, it could lead to the most significant constitutional court case on cultural autonomy since 1994. If he fails, it might strengthen the perception that the post-apartheid legal system still protects historical privilege. Either way, the Orania question is no longer just about one small town, it's about the soul of South Africa. Let us know what you think in the comments. Should Orania be allowed to continue as it is under constitutional protections? Or is it time for South Africa to have a serious conversation about the limits of cultural self-determination? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on South Africa's most pressing political stories. Thank you for watching, and as always, see you next time.